Are we good? Okay. Good evening, Niles. Welcome. We are going to get our program started in 20 seconds. Here's the countdown. Niles, welcome, and thank you for joining us for the 2021 Leadership Celebration, the virtual edition. You're most likely watching us on either Facebook or YouTube or Niles TV. We're coming to you tonight from inside White Eagle right here in Niles. The deli's open, stop by and see what they have to offer. If you arrived a little late, no worries. We will not be deleting this for a while, so you can go back and watch what you might have missed. Tonight, we will be celebrating chamber partners that have had anniversaries from 5 to 50 years. Mayor Shabillo will swear in our 2021 board, and we will hear from both our outgoing president, Vince Gendusa, as well as welcoming our 2021 president, Christine Pusateri. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky will provide us with the State of the Country update. Senator Ron Villavello will share a State of the State update, and Mayor Shabillo will share with us the state of our village. Additionally, we are fortunate to have entertainment from Niles North High School, Maine Township Chamber Choir, Notre Dame Drum Corps, and Northridge Prep Jazz Band. This is an example of how our current conditions have enabled us to think bigger. Normally, this event would be a luncheon with about 150 people, but now, tonight, these updates, presentations are accessible to all of Niles and beyond. We hope you are making an evening of it. Please comment, share photos of where you have ordered dinner from, and who you're watching with. I would like to begin by thanking our outgoing board members. Steve Costa, owner of Weichert Realtor Ambassadors, has served 6 years as a Niles Chamber board member. Steve, we have valued your service, and you will be missed. Jeff Curry has served 6 years on the Niles Chamber board, as well as 2 years as president. Jeff, thank you for your service. Now sit back and relax as we begin our evening with some entertainment from the Notre Dame Drum Corps. Thank you, Notre Dame. And next I have the honor of introducing Vince Gendusa, owner of Platinum Touch Industries. Vince served as our president during 2020. Condolence cards may be sent to the office. We are thankful for his leadership during this time that's like no other. Vince, why don't you join me up here, and you're going to get your red jacket. Oh, look at that. Just like a glove. All right, here you go, Vince.
Good evening. I'm Vince Chandusa, the past president of the Niles Chamber from 2020. Wow, 2020. What can I say? Hit us like a Mack truck that no one saw coming. But I'm proud to say that Niles Chamber has remained strong, thrived, and even started new initiatives. Early in 2020, we began our legislative committee. Little did we know how important this would be. Through this group, we strengthened our connections with our state, county, and U.S. representatives. A month later, these relationships would prove invaluable as we needed to connect our members with these individuals to get much needed support for their businesses. We are happy to see that these relationships have flourished, and Senator Villavalum and Congresswoman Sadrikowski will be even joining us this evening. While the Chamber is not interested in taking stands on most legislation, we see our role as communication and connection. Businesses need to know what changes are being made that will affect them, and each business's voice is important. So we will make sure you know who to connect with to make your voice heard. As the world shut down, our businesses needed Chamber support even more. As we communicated daily what was open, what was closed, which businesses could help with PPE, and how to apply for the ever-changing PPP loan. While the stay-at-home order was in place and face-to-face connections were not possible, the Chamber reinvented how we network, and Zoom became the new way of staying in touch. We continued Niles Morning Network and Business After Hours each month, just in a new way. The Chamber stepped up to create innovative ways to support our small businesses, including Small Business Bingo, Restaurant Bingo, 15 for 15, and a Niles Chamber gift card. The goal has been to support our small businesses, especially our restaurants. In every possible way, we have leveraged social media like never before, posting photos and sharing to encourage local support. We did our best not to cancel anything, but find different ways to make things happen. So Night of Roses came to you virtually, much like this event this evening. We have introduced a new weekly interview series called Niles Voice of Business. The Voice of It airs each Thursday on Facebook and YouTube. We interview everyone from our mayor and senators to the owners of our local restaurants and manufacturers. The goal here is for our community to get a broader view of who and what Niles is all about. Through all this, thanks to our Retention and Recruitment Committee, we have welcomed more than 30 new members. While 2021 still looks much like 2020, we see many bright spots on the horizon. I am proud to have led our chamber through a very challenging year, and even prouder to say we came through it stronger than ever. Thank you for allowing me this privilege. Christine Pusateri, our incoming president, is well prepared to lead us into our 50th anniversary year. And now I would like to introduce our second vice president, Suzanne Wolf.
Vince, thank you so much for your leadership over these last year. I'm Suzanne Wolf, the head of digital services at the Niles Main District Library. I'm proud to be serving as the second vice president of the chamber this year. Now we would like to celebrate our partners that have enjoyed their 5-year anniversary in 2020. Air Pride Heating and Air Conditioning, Art Station Studio, Bukoval Law, Dental Specialists of Niles, Grant Merchant Services, National Crematoria Service, Niles Township Government, the Pace Bus, Platinum Touch Industries, Sebastian Nalo Salon, ServPro, Sylvian Learning, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Niles Memorial Post 3579. And now let's enjoy Sir Duke from the Niles North Band.
You know, like you can feel it all over. Let's see what band has in store for us.
Woo!
That was beautiful.
That was. I barely got past the.
Thank you so much, Niles North. Aren't they talented? Hi, I'm Patricia Noel, Vice President of Global Facilities at Shure Incorporated and First Vice President of the Niles Chamber. Next, we would like to recognize our businesses that have celebrated 10 years with the Niles Chamber during 2020. First Financial Credit Union, Perfection Inspection of Real Estate, Inc., and Wine Cellars Limited. Now it's my honor to introduce Christine Pusateri, owner of Pusateri Hair Solutions and a staple in the Niles business community. She has chaired the Program and Events Committee, Women in Business, as well as our newly formed Legislative and Advocacy Committee. In 2021, she will be leading us as our president. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to our event this evening. I am immensely proud to serve as Niles Chamber of Commerce President for 2021, which will be our 50th anniversary year. I have big shoes to fill, as the previous presidents I have worked with have been outstanding. Boy, this has been some year. I am confident that this coming year, 2021, will be a year of renewal, achievement, and prosperity. If you ever needed a chamber to assist you in promoting your business, it was 2020. And I'm sure we have much work to do to make this a better year. I do have a request of all the chamber members. It is particularly important that we support each other. After all, we're the ones taking the entrepreneurial risk. It is of significant value that we spread the word about our businesses. Whenever possible, I ask you to use chamber businesses when hiring tradesmen, in promotion and advertising, in real estate, and of course, support our restaurants. If you are seeking someone to hire to do work for you, find a chamber member. And when you do, make sure you tell them that you are a member of the Niles Chamber of Commerce. I would think not only would they be grateful to know that you did this, but they will go the extra mile to make sure you are happy with whatever service they provide. If you are happy, post it Put it on Facebook, Instagram, everything Niles, crow about it. We can be our own little Better Business Bureau. When talking to people about joining the chamber, I will hear occasionally, well, I joined the chamber and I never got anything for it. And I always respond, well, how do you know? Let them know that you picked their business because they're a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And let us network with each other. It takes time to get your name out there, but it works. Also, there are many parts of the chamber that may be of interest to you. You can join several committees within the chamber that will truly end up helping you out. The legislative committee, for example, came about this year. It was formed out of concern that the stroke of a legislative pen could literally wipe out a business that was struggling. And it ended up to be quite prophetic. We decided that this group would not have an agenda to take a stance in a political field, but would allow our businesses the opportunity to ask questions of our elected officials and get the answers that would allow them to make up their own minds on a particular issue. Our first meeting was with our state legislators at Cappy's Restaurant for a breakfast Q&A, and that went great. Our second was a Zoom meeting with county, state, and federal elected officials in small breakout rooms. We are learning what works and what we can do better as we glean the experience. Our next event will be with local officials here in Niles. I would think this would be a committee of interest to many, especially at this time. Women in Business started a few years ago, but it was conceived a little different than the usual Women in Business committees. We meet at the actual businesses, and we do informative sessions. It allows a chance to really network and to spend time learning from each other instead of the usual 30-second elevator pitch. We had a great turnout for all of these, and it's worked out very well. Everybody's very happy with them. We look forward this year to an in-person Night of the Roses this fall. It's a great way to celebrate the return to normal of many of our businesses and the hardworking people whose time, talent, and treasure make them work. At the Niles Chamber, we encourage you to come up with ideas that make us stronger, make us a stronger community of businesses. We recently had the idea of bringing around the Taste of Niles. It's an effort to celebrate and support our struggling restaurants, and we are excited to make it happen. I know one thing, we're stronger together. Let's stick together and make this year our best. I look forward to serving as your president. Please feel free to reach out to me with any concerns and ideas. Thank you. Now let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm James DeMayo, owner of Aqua Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Services in Niles, Illinois. We're on the corner of Waukegan Road and Fargo. We offer complete plumbing, heating, cooling, duct cleaning, and drain cleaning services. Our services separate us from other companies because we really do deep down care about helping out our customers. We offer up specials in the sense of discounts for senior citizens, military veterans, first responders. We also offer up several different financing options that we never charge any additional fees for nights, weekends, or holidays. Give us a call. We're in your neighborhood.
Thank you, Aqua Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, for your support of the Niles Chamber. We would now like to honor our partners that have celebrated 15 years with the Chamber in 2020. C&M Auto Service Incorporated, Contour Landscaping Incorporated, Dear Franks of Niles, and Wings Resale. Now it is my honor to welcome the 2021 Board of Directors who will lead us during the Chamber's 50th year. Christine Pusateri, Pusateri Hair Solutions. I did that backwards. Vince Gendusa, owner of Platinum Touch Industries. First Vice President, Patricia Knoll, VP of Global Facilities with Shore Incorporated. Second Vice President, Suzanne Wolf, Head of Digital Services with Niles Main District Library. Treasurer, Kimberly Smith, Facility Manager of Athletico on TUI. Director Emeritus, Dean Strelecki, and Director Emeritus, Joanne Quiner. And now we welcome those joining us virtually. Director Alan Zielinski, owner of Better Kitchens Incorporated. Director Skip Lawson, Notre Dame alum. Director Fred Braun, Village of Niles Director of Public Works. Director James Medina, First Financial Credit Union Lending Manager. Director Emeritus Irv Coates, and Village Liaison John Mulanaphy, Village of Niles Director of Economic Development. And last but certainly not least, Mayor Andrew Shabilla will honor us by swearing in the 2021 Board of Directors. Mayor, you're on.
Okay, forgive me, let me find these scripts and you'll bear with me.
No problem.
Okay. I trust you all can hear me. It's a great honor and pleasure to be with you here today. It's my pleasure to install the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry officers and directors for 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry is organized for the purpose of advancing economic, industrial, professional, and cultural welfare of the Village of Niles, to encourage the growth of existing industries and retail businesses, while giving all proper assistance to new firms or individuals seeking to locate in our community, to promote the welfare of all businesses, following always those policies intended to accomplish the greatest good for the greatest number. Will the board members please raise your right hand to take the oath of office? I repeat your name.
I, Alan Zielinski,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will work and support
that I will work to support
the bylaws,
the bylaws,
objectives and goals
objectives,
and goals
of the Niles Chamber
of the Niles Chamber of
of the Niles Chamber of Commerce,
Commerce and Industry,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
All right, so I'm informed that to make this official, the gavel will be passed from outgoing President Vince Gendusa will pass to Christine Pusateri, who is now the new 2021 president. It's a virtual applause. Love it, love it, love it. I present to you the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry Board of Directors for the 2021. Congratulations and good luck to all. Hear, hear.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now,
Thank you.
there you go. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Mayor Shabilla and 2021 Chamber Board. Now we would like to recognize those chamber partners celebrating 20 years with the chamber. The list is long. Catered by Design, Costco Wholesale, Embark Senior Living, Hall's Rental Service Incorporated, Howard Commons, Cappy's American Grill, Niles Dental Center, Orchard Village, Ridgewood Gardens Incorporated, Sasan and Sasan, St. John Brayboff Church, State Farm Insurance, Jeff Curry Agent, and U.S. Representative Jan Schakowsky. Very coincidentally, the last person on our list is also our next speaker. Please welcome U.S. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky as she provides us with an update from Washington.
Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. I want to tell you what an honor it is to be with you today for the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry Leadership Celebration. I want to thank Alicia so much for inviting me, and I certainly want to call out my dear friend, Mayor Andy Shabillo. We go back a long way, 1986 we were working together. And I also wanted to mention right up front, Andrew Gachkowski, who works on my congressional office on issues that affect you, the business community in every aspect. So I want you to know that he is always available. So our office is always available to you to answer your personal questions, to go cut through the red tape and do everything we can to help promote your businesses and the community of Niles. So this has been a roller coaster of a time. There's no question about it. I'm not just looking back at 4 years, those are over, but I'm looking at less than a month ago. On January 6th, something happened in the US Capitol that has never happened before. There was a violent insurrection. People who came to Washington, not all of them, but some of them, whose idea was that they were going to perhaps even murder people in order to change the outcome of the election. I have to tell you that I was safely locked in my office. We got there back in time and locked the door, and they never did come down my corridor, but I had the horror of watching on C-SPAN my colleagues and staff just being chased and in grave, grave danger by people who wanted to do them harm, and there were deaths. So people died as a result of that insurrection. And thank God at the end of the day, it ended, and we were able to actually certify the elections, go down and certify that Joe Biden had won, honestly, not deceptively, the election for President of the United States. The next Wednesday, it was another impeachment. The first time in U.S. history, we impeached again for the second time the President of the United States. There was only one article of impeachment, and that was because of his incitement of an insurrection in the Capitol. And there's no doubt about it, in my mind. But there will be a trial and conviction, I hope, in the Senate. The article will go to the Senate promptly, and then in a couple of weeks, after some preparation, there will be a trial. And then the next Wednesday, last Wednesday, was the inauguration. And I had the great honor of being there and sitting actually quite close to the podium and watching Kamala Harris being sworn in as the first woman and the first woman of color to be ever at the top of the ticket in the United States of America. What a thrill. And to hear Joe Biden talk about unity, about truth, about working together, I felt so soothed. And honestly, if you want to know the truth, for the first time in a long time, I felt really safe, that there wasn't going to be some sort of impulsive action that could hurt our country, my constituents, that could turn the tide backwards when it comes to the United States of America and our values. So we've come quite a long way in just a very short time, and a lot of good things are happening. And I wanted to talk to you about what you might expect in the near future. Now, understand that right now we're at a phrase, the president divided it into rescue and recovery, and we're in the rescue stage right now. So that includes, I would say, primarily dealing with the consequences of COVID, not only the death and illness and fear that it has caused for our physical harm, but also the economy. And you know that well, how hurt the economy has been and how your businesses have been affected by the COVID virus. So this is what's happening in sort of short form. So there are 3 programs I wanted to tell you about. There may be more things that we can do, and so Andrew is your man to give a call for your particular situation. But I want you to know that the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, is back, thanks to a new infusion of $250 billion. And in the first round, Illinois took great advantage of that. 225,000 Illinoisans received $23 billion from the PPP program. And we are hoping that it will also be helping you now that there's this revival in the program. One thing that you should know for sure is that the money can go primarily for keeping your staff on, but also some other things like rent and utilities. So you want to check the specifics of what that money can be used for, in which case the loan would be refundable. You should know too that that money does not account to your taxes. There was some concern that it would be viewed as taxable income. It will not. The second program I wanted to talk to you about is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. So under this loan, you can borrow up to $2 million, and it's a long-term, low-interest loan. If you need the money right away, you can start with a $10,000 immediate money from this program. And the good news about it is even if you then don't qualify for the full loan, you can keep that money. So there is some immediate help. I understand it's not going to make you whole, but it should be able, hopefully be able to help. So that's the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. And finally, there's a new program called Save Our Stages, and it's for shuttered venues, live venues that should be able to get some help. And you know what a disaster it's been in your community and all over this country for live venues. So we can give you the details on that, whether you may qualify for that loan. So we are at your service. We are there to work with you. We're there to hear from you. There's certainly going to be some things I think that may be controversial or that you don't like, and we welcome that kind of input. So that's my brief state of the nation right now, and I appreciate being able to participate. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Schakowsky. And now we celebrate our business that has been with the Chamber for 25 years. Niles Foot and Ankle Center. Next, we get to enjoy some entertainment from the Northridge Prep Jazz Band.
Good evening. Thank you for attending our annual Northridge Prep Christmas music concert. We're glad to bring you this special presentation of this very important part of our school's education. Thanks again. See you at the next concert.
Thanks so much, Northridge. That was fabulous. Now we celebrate those businesses that have celebrated 30 and 35 years with the Chamber this year. For 30 years, we have Edward Jones, Jeffrey L. Cardella, Johnson Real Estate, La Palooza Home Improvement, Whipfleet, and those that have celebrated, we have one 35-year anniversary, which is Calero and Calero LLP. Congratulations. And now help me welcome Illinois Senator Ron Villaval, who will share with us some updates from the state.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me and for all the work that you're doing during this unprecedented time. As was mentioned, my name is Ron Villaval. I'm the state senator for the 8th District, which includes 21 neighborhoods in the city of Chicago, from Albany Park to West Rogers Park, and about 5 suburbs in Cook County: Lincolnwood, Skokie, Niles, Morton Grove, Glenview, and unincorporated Des Plaines. I hope all of you are staying safe and healthy. I want to personally thank the leadership, both outgoing and incoming, at the Niles Chamber for all that you've done to really advocate on behalf of the businesses, the local businesses in Niles, the village of Niles, excuse me, and also the community of Niles, really as a whole. I want to thank Alicia and Chase for all that they're doing. They're really they're proactive. It's been great to partner with them during this difficult time to try to make sure folks have the information they need to get through it. As was mentioned, we work together from sharing information about PPP and the different grant and loan programs at the state and local levels of government, to taking your concerns and quite frankly frustration as to the mitigation measures to the governor, to the mayor, to the Cook County Board President, and trying to see some changes there as well. We're going to continue to do that work. I feel like I could say a statement that has been probably true for a few years now, which is we're in a difficult situation in our state. We're in a difficult fiscal situation, and we need to step up to the challenge. So my number one priority is going to be having conversations with people in our communities about our budget, making sure that we have those tough conversations. Obviously, the graduated income tax did not pass in the November election. It did do well in our area of the state, or my district, about 60-40. However, it didn't pass, and that's the reality. And so we're going to have to look at the budget deficit, $3.9 billion, and see what can be done there, and look at what we can cut, where we can raise revenue, and probably instead of doing one or the other, maybe a combination of both. But really, it's going to be a conversation that we have to go back to the drawing board and talk to people in our districts, about what they want to see. And that's really what I'm committed to. In addition to that, as some of you may know, I'm the chair of transportation in the Senate. My focus is continuing to work to hold IDOT, the Illinois Department of Transportation, the Illinois Tollway, the Capital Development Board, those agencies accountable, make sure that we're moving forward on a Rebuild Illinois plan, which was a $45 billion investment, both in our roads, bridges, and mass transit, but also in our communities. And that's where the vertical part comes in terms of helping that university build a new science building, or a nonprofit build a roof, and so forth. And obviously our municipalities, making sure that they have the funding locally to improve our roads, and so forth. And so that's going to be a big focal point. That's going to be something that I think is going to continue to take a lot of our time, because we made a promise. We made a promise to our taxpayers to say, hey, we're going to increase the gas tax, and we're going to increase some license fees, because we have a D- rating from the American Society of Civil Engineers in terms of our transportation infrastructure system. And we hear from businesses across the state that it's getting harder and harder to move their goods and services and do what they can in terms of hiring people and whatnot. And so we made a promise we have to deliver, and that's going to be my big one of my big priorities. Lastly, I want to continue to make this announcement that we're going to continue to work on ethics reform. There was a lot that took place in lame duck session, and we obviously had the inauguration as well. This is something that is something that I truly believe we need to move the ball on. We need to regain trust from the public in our government. And that starts with enacting real ethics reform. There was some conversations. I apologize. That's my 2-year-old in the background here. There were some conversations around that in lame duck. There was a bill that did move, but was not able to move through both chambers. Please know that there are a number of us that are committed to doing real ethics reform. I'm not interested in a headline. I'm interested in getting to the root of the problem. And would love to hear your ideas on what you think on that topic. But that's something that I'm not giving up on. And some people would say don't mention it till we have movement on it. But I want to mention it because I want you all to hold us accountable to it and make sure that we actually get it done. So those are 3 big pieces in terms of legislation, in terms of topics that our state has to contend with now. And we need to hear from you. My office and I are always going to be accessible. My door is always open. We obviously are trying to get to the other side of the pandemic. Regions will be moving from tier to tier. So, please reach out to us. We'll put our information in the chat. Alicia knows how to get a hold of us pretty quickly. So we can always, connect that way. Obviously, you can connect. You can look at coronavirus.illinois.gov as another resource. But we need to get to the other side of this pandemic so we can continue to work on moving our state forward. That means that we have to have and this is something that we're talking to the governor about, and the Cook County Board President is having a comprehensive vaccination plan without mass confusion. Continue to do testing, wearing masks, and socially distancing. Until we get to that mass vaccination point. And so thank you again. I just will end by saying my number is 872-208-5188. And our email address is info@senatorrahm.com. And so please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you again for all that you're doing for our community. And I look forward to continuing to work together.
Thank you so much, Senator. We truly appreciate your partnership. Now let's spotlight those businesses that have been with the Chamber for 40 years. Advocate Lutheran General Hospital. Certified Tax Accountants. Gulf Mill Shopping Center. And next, we have a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Christine Posateri. I'm the owner of Christine Posateri Hair Solutions. We're located at 7665 North Milwaukee Avenue in Niles. Our phone number is 888-506-8112. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the people that have received plaques for their time that they have been in the Niles Chamber of Commerce. It's people like you that make Niles a great place to live and to work. And all the people that are involved in the chamber, in the past and in the present, you're a pleasure to have. It's fun to work with all of you, and hopefully we can keep serving you in the community to make our community as better than it's ever been. Here at Solutions, we deal with men and women's hair loss. We deal with all methods of hair replacement and hair loss and scalp problems. It can be anything from alopecia, men or women's hair loss, cancer patients, people with scalp problems. We do free consultations. You give us a call at 888-506-8112, and we'll help you through it. In the spring, we are going to be hosting a women's hair loss seminar. It'll be free of charge.
There will be goodie bags for the first 20 people that attend. There will be door prizes. We will deep discount all our products, and we will go through explaining the different methods of treating hair loss. And we hope you'll attend. We'll get the word out as soon as everything can open up and we can safely do this. It will be done. So hopefully you'll join us in the spring, and we hope for a much greater year this year for the Chamber of Commerce, that we all open up and everybody does well. Thank you.
Thanks, Christine, for your support of the Chamber in so many ways in everything that you do. Now we recognize a business that has partnered with the Chamber for 45 years. Journal and Topics newspapers. Congratulations. And we get to enjoy one more piece of entertainment. This comes to us from the Maine Township Chamber Choir.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams that keep me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
There's a house we can build, every room inside is filled with things so far away.
Special things I can find, each one there to make you smile
On a rainy day, they can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams that keep me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You made it right, you made it wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see, I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams
of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world worth of a for the world worth of a
Thank you, Maine Township. Wow, that was amazing. So talented. Finally, we'd like to highlight our businesses that have celebrated 50 years with the Chamber in 2020. Our host for this evening, White Eagle Events and Convention Center by Victoria. And Better Kitchens, Inc. And our highlight for this evening will be the State of the Village address from Mayor Andrew Shabilla. Let's hear it for the mayor.
Good evening. I wish to thank the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry for inviting me to come before you all and give this State of the Village address and to swear in the new officers. If you don't know already, I have the highest regard for the work of the Chamber of Commerce. In my almost 8 years in service as mayor, I've seen it as a responsibility of mine to support the Chamber's important work. My address today will be in 2 parts. In the first part, I would like to tell you about the accomplishments and plans of our village government. Secondly, before I'm done here tonight, I'll ask for just a moment to talk to you about my past as mayor, what the future holds for the village of Niles, and the challenges that await a new administration. I want to start by briefly addressing some of the ways in which the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the village. And I want to get that out of the way because there is so much more going on in the village worth talking about. I would be remiss if I didn't address the impact upon village finances. Although we had a balanced budget for 2021, the onset of COVID-19 impacted revenues. Our finance department and the village manager's office implemented immediate revenue shortfall strategies. There were essential expenditures only. Deferment of non-essential capital projects, targeted furloughs, and temporary layoffs, and success in obtaining grant money from FEMA in the amount of $31,000 and from Cook County in the amount of $500,000. And I'm told there is more grant money to come. To help the business community, the village has deferred the fees of food and beverage taxes and also licensing fees due to COVID. Also related to COVID-19, the village has developed and implemented the Small Business Recovery Loan Program of $500,000 for restaurant assistance during the pandemic. Internally, all our departments had to find new ways to work remotely, offer virtual or no-contact ways to serve residents, and to continue to accomplish goals, all while keeping themselves and each other safe and healthy. Moving on to the good part. We'll begin with business and economic development. 1 year ago, we welcomed a new economic development director in the name of John Milanofi. The first year of Mr. Milanofi's tenure has been a busy one. We have closed the successful Milwaukee Toohey TIF district, whose funds we use to start new initiatives for economic development. Also, at that TIF's closure, thousands of dollars in property taxes will now flow directly to the taxing bodies. In the Milwaukee Dempster TIF district, Golf Mill Shopping Center's ownership is in preliminary stage for conceptual planning and redevelopment. The Grosse Pointe Toohey TIF district has been moving right along as well. The YMCA closure is planned to be completed soon, and the goal here is for a developer to look at those 2 acres in tandem with the village-owned 8 acres of the former Granger site and start to see a very attractive collection of parcels where they can come and make something new to revitalize that area. The village acquired key pieces of property for future development, including both the former Marathon gas station and the vacant Mexican restaurant at Waukegan and Milwaukee, along with demolishing and preparing the site for future sale and development. The village also has acquired the former Byline Bank at Toohey and Harlem for purposes of redevelopment. Despite the pandemic, we've seen another great year for new business openings, and we're proud to share that the village helped open the Agostino's Pizza Pub, Zippy's Car Wash, Chase Bank, the Phoenix Flame Restaurant, and City Line Bible Church, and more, all within this past year. Next, let's talk about Public Works. One of the major projects was the Howard Street roadway redevelopment, which also included the repair and replacement of the utility infrastructure. Howard Street from Milwaukee Avenue through Caldwell is a gateway street to the Grosse Pointe Toohey TIF district. So the image and functionality of that road makes a great difference. Public Works is also working towards adding sidewalks and improving pedestrian safety in a few different areas, including the area near Gulf and Milwaukee. They're using grant money when available, and they're also working with our Village Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan Advisory Group to make sure the people's voices are heard. Public Works and Engineering has also been extraordinarily busy with stormwater component of the Golf Mill Park redevelopment. This reservoir project with the park is the third leg of a three-legged stool, 3 phases of major stormwater projects, which together will abate residential flooding in the northeast quarter of our town. Next, I'd like to talk about the Community Development Department. Right now, they are driving forward towards developing the Niles 2040 Comprehensive Plan. You will recall that under the Calero administration, the Niles 2030 Comprehensive Plan was started, and the 2040 is an adjunct plan to the 2030 plan. I encourage everyone to go to niles2040.com to learn about the project and take a very important survey, which is a major step towards letting you, the people and businesses of Niles, inform what comes next for our great village. The department will continue the process of developing the 2040 plan over the coming year. Another major accomplishment was the release of an online portal for rental licenses, renewals, and payments. They also debuted the Village of Niles restaurant map on the village website, which has been a big help during the pandemic. Moving along, I'd like to report on the Information Technology Department. If you've been paying attention lately, you'll have known that the village has been rolling out more and more new online systems to keep operations modern and efficient. This year, Niles IT worked with departments to introduce a new easy-to-use vehicle sticker portal, an adjudication tickets search and payment portal, an employee self-service portal, and launching in a matter of weeks from now, a new utility billing portal with more ways for the public to pay and manage their accounts online. Also, we'll soon have a documents portal which will allow the public to search through the village records. All of this speaks to a modernization of our village with better service, added convenience, and increased transparency. Our Niles Family Fitness Center this past year has had their operations changed perhaps more than any other department due to the COVID virus. You'll remember there was a time earlier in the pandemic when they were simply shut down. They were not allowed to operate. So our fitness center director, Carl Maniscalco, along with his staff, built 2 virtual exercise studios and engaged our community with virtual programming. Now that they've been able to reopen, they have created a safe and clean facility for patrons and staff, which involved completely reorganizing the center. Further, they created an online member reservation system for the fitness area and the pool. Next, The fire department has had a trying but successful year. Remember, these are the men and women responding to the calls to transport all of the emergency COVID cases. Chief Feld and his team have also provided leadership behind the scene of the pandemic and have successfully received grant reimbursements for the village due to COVID-related expenses, and will continue that process in the months ahead. Aside from the pandemic, in the past year, the village fire department received a gold award from the American Heart Association for the quality of care provided to patients for exceptional cardiac and stroke care. Going forward, the fire department will seek a reevaluation from the Insurance Service Office for an improved rating, which could reduce property insurance rates in Niles. The Niles Police Department has had quite a stressful year due to very different reasons. They've encountered community struggles such as pedestrian cyclist safety, crime, and issues that are counterproductive in my mind, such as the call to defund the police. I can say almost unequivocally that those so-called progressive notions regarding the police do not in any way make our society better. What does make our village better are a number of initiatives that our Niles Police Chief has led in collaboration with other departments. They, police, now have a program in coordination with the Niles Family Services Department, where they're brought into the station their own social welfare worker. This initiative is an example where we will redirect sworn officers toward prime situations and allow social welfare personnel to address domestic issues. Also, the police department was one of the first law enforcement agencies in Illinois to obtain the Federal Use of Force certification. The Niles Police Department is committed to diversifying its officers and staff in keeping with the blend of nationalities within our community. The police department is committed to de-escalation training of our officers, while at the same time reducing crime for an improved quality of life of our residents and our businesses. Niles' own Department of Family Services has stepped up to the challenge of helping residents manage the pandemic by working around the clock, helping with emotional, financial, and crisis support as the community weathers the stress. The request for assistance spiked during the year 2020. During the pandemic, the food pantry saw an increase of over 50% utilization, and Niles businesses and intergovernmental agencies, along with residents, have all stepped up to increase donations to support the need for food. In the future, the Niles Family Services will continue to develop and grow its Engage program in cooperation with the Niles Police Department. The Niles Teen Center was renovated in 2020 with $18,000 donated and 183 hours of physical labor by volunteers. We are also very proud of the Niles Community Youth Crew. This is a program whereby local students are helping seniors and the Niles community with snow shoveling and other needs. Our next department report is on our finance department. We now have a new and highly qualified finance director in the name of Kent Olivan. Aside from leading the village through sound financial decisions during the pandemic, they also have had a major role in other initiatives I have already mentioned, such as closing the Milwaukee Tui TIF and development of the new utility billing system. Closing on finance, public safety pensions has become a nagging drain on our budget. However, Niles has had great success funding pension shortfalls with a robust reserve fund, and because cannabis and video gaming revenue has provided pension funding with a windfall. Pensions in the future may be improved by a proposed transition to a statewide professionally managed fund. Lastly, let me speak to the initiative of General Government Department. As of late, a significant focus has been the implementation of the Love Niles marketing campaign. As part of this campaign, You may have heard our ads on the radio or seen them as you browse the web. We must continue to elevate our brand, even during uncertain times, so that we are always positioned competitively, especially when life returns to normal. Staff was also involved with strategic planning with village leadership, promotion and support of the Niles 2020 census, creation of the Bike Pedestrian Plan Advisory Group, and successful passage of recreational cannabis legislation with input and support from the public and also the Community Development Department. Staff is continuing to work on and promote programs like the Grow Your Home Improvement Program, which can waive up to $5,000 in village fees for residents who make improvements to their home and increase property values. Finally, the Administration Department and Family Services Department have led an initiative to improve diversity and inclusion in the workforce, gathering representatives of each department to build towards these goals. This is truly an all-encompassing community-wide initiative, and we'll be partnering with other organizations to ensure our diverse community is represented and heard. It all speaks not only to our role as a responsible employer, but also to our role as responsible servants to the public. Now, the second half of my address to the Niles Chamber of Commerce and the general population of Niles is more personal. First, what does the Niles Chamber of Commerce and Industry mean to me? In 1966, my father moved his banquet business from Chicago to Niles by acquiring Mike and Helen's restaurant, and 4 years later, Trumba's restaurant and Picnic Grove, and later, still 11 acres from the Archdiocese of Chicago. At that time, I was 15 years old and had been on the payroll for 5 years. So it was natural for me to watch and learn from my father. Upon moving his successful business that he started in 1946, he made a conscious decision to be a part of a new community. As such, he bought every product or service possible local to Niles. Sausage and meats came from Hartshock Sausage, dairy from Strelecki's Twin Oaks Dairy, insurance from Ralph Weiner, and others I'm too old to remember. When it came time to build onto his building and expand, he turned to Laverty Construction. Lest you think it was just commercial initiatives, I will add that he changed his official residence from Lincolnwood to Niles, making sure that his family voted in Niles, and dare you think that there was an election in which we didn't vote. Finally, my dad joined the Niles Chamber of Commerce because it was the right thing to do, even though way back when there was no direct benefit to his business. My point to make here are twofold. In the first place, all of you business owners listening tonight could serve the Niles business community by looking first to vendors of service or products within your hometown when possible. The high tide raises boats, all boats, and we all can use a little help. Secondarily, the Niles Chamber of my father's day is not the same as it is today. Today's chamber services business needs that individually might not be affordable only to a very large business. For instance, e-commerce is the future, and the chamber actively instructs small businesses how to best position themselves to be competitive in this area. Also, the chamber actively lobbies for small businesses with county, state, and federal elected officials. Lastly, the chamber promotes inter-Niles business relationships through social media platforms, programs, events, and gatherings, whether in person or virtual as seen tonight. As mayor, I have created a policy that when it comes to purchasing, the Village of Niles must look at quality of work or service, the cost of such, and if all things being equal, the village shall purchase from within our own business community. I have in my term of office increased the village stipend to the chamber and have cut every new business grand opening ribbon that I could. I think my father may be proud of this work. I hope so. Now, My experience as trustee and as mayor. Most of you know me to be a progressive in public service, believing that municipal government is a service business that sells water, it permits, maintains infrastructure, provides programs, all in the name of actively promoting the quality of life of residents and business owners alike. Like every business, our government must balance its books with revenues in order to keep your taxes at bay. The village is constantly looking towards efficiencies and lesser costs. One of the two examples, our Public Works Department cut the cost of snowplow operations by jerry-rigging a off-the-shelf GPS navigation system to direct plows through more efficient routes. Secondly, our village partnered with the village of Morton Grove to create a new water commission, building a $95 million pipeline plus infrastructure, which will ensure the village pays less for water, which in turn leads to stable water rates for the people and businesses of Niles, while still leaving new funding available to maintain our infrastructure. Needless to say, the other side of the coin is revenues. Sales tax dollars must continue to flow in at a rate that sustains the growing cost of government labor. These are precarious times for sales tax growth. What is known is that retail in-store shopping has and will continue to become experiential, leisurable, in-store environmental quintessence bundling shopping with entertainment. All this and more must be part of municipal/private development planning. Sometimes government must invest in business development with monetary incentives such that a win-win occurs for all involved. This then was my motivation to personally spearhead the creation of 5 new tax increment finance districts in Niles. My vision for Niles has been to zone our town into retail districts and then to actively create partnerships with businesses through incentives with newly created funds from the tax increment finance district. If you are not familiar with these districts, there are 3 districts running the length of Milwaukee Avenue. There is one upon 80 acres along Toohey, Lehigh, and Grosse Point Road. And finally, the smallest district is at Oakton and Waukegan, which I like to think of as the municipal district. All 5 districts have huge possibilities. One has the national landmark Leaning Tower as an economic driver, and the 3 along Milwaukee Avenue have the benefit of the Pulse Express bus line, as well as the adjacent South Milwaukee Avenue plan, which calls for the realization of mixed-use development. We just need customer drivers, attractions that will draw in folks who would also shop. If the new administration can fulfill the promise of these economic development zones, the Niles' future will look brighter. Quality of life will be stable and even enhanced because government will not need to raise property taxes to continue funding beneficial services. 2 years into my office as mayor, I asked the village manager to track what initiatives we've attempted and, more to the point, worked to fruition. We've maintained this document available for public viewing with 448 achievements over 8+ years. Here are just the highlights of a long record. I iterate these accomplishments not for braggadocious sake, but because it may help to codify what my successor and the Board of Trustees set forth as their own goals. And by the way, upon perusal of this report, it seems as if our entire village has gone digital with the help of IT, and that PW is worked to the bone, yet successfully at every turn. So I realize I could never recall and acknowledge all the contributions from those 2 departments in particular. Regarding economic development was the creation of the Commission for Economic Development and Neighborhood Renewal. New branding for the village, extolling its positives, creating a new logo with tagline, and hiring a professional marketing firm. Creation of 5 TIF districts, which can provide new property taxes in addition to new sales tax. Early on, helped to initiate the Niles Comprehensive Land Plan, which allowed for a new zoning ordinance and dovetailed to become the Comprehensive 2030 Plan. Fostered to completion the South Milwaukee Redevelopment Plan. Promoted ethnic festivals at Gulf Mill Park and the adjoining 9101 Greenwood property, proving that as a driver, these festivals could generate approximately $200,000 to the village and promote vigorous sales at a newly developed Gulf Mill shopping center. The mayor's office and staff promoted the purchase of 9101 Greenwood Bank Building, the Leaning Tower of Niles, the Granger property, the Marathon gas station at Milwaukee and Waukegan, and finally an additional property at the southwest terminus of Niles, namely the former Byline Bank. Regarding infrastructure and effect to quality of life. Began the Tier 1, Tier 2 flood control initiative 1 year early and saw it to completion with the Cleveland Street Mega Sewer and the flood swales at Our Lady of Ransom Church and at Maryhill Cemetery. Kicked off the Tier 3 flood control initiative with the purchase of the bank property at 9101 Greenwood. Extended the 50-50 cost share program to alleviate home flooding by subsidizing on-property check valves or in-home overhead sewer conversions. Reconstruction of the Leaning Tower of Niles with complete restoration of its ancient bells. Rebuilt completely Howard Street as a multi-purpose roadway serving commercial interests where applicable and residential interests, more importantly. The road will be multimodal, serving the westward bound gateway to the entertainment district at the Leaning Tower of Niles. Drove the design of a new police vehicle that is more inviting and less militaristic and more in keeping with the directive to serve and protect. Regarding building community, initiated village participation toward more and better attended block parties in our various neighborhoods. We named village neighborhoods and gave them new signage indicative of those names. Helped create the Farm on Franks so even multifamily dwellers may have a vegetable garden. Created the Holly Jolly Market Festival with the accompanying Christmas tree lighting and fireworks. Developed with staff, the new resident welcome wagon initiative. Promoted with staff Niles designation as Tree City USA and further planted the red oak village tree, which is found south of Veterans Waterfall Plaza. Created the Veterans Key to the Village program and also the Chair of Honor in our Village Hall, commemorating soldiers missing in action. We promoted with staff the enhancement of volunteerism through digital signups. It is noteworthy that so many Niles employees have volunteered in support of events. Completed the multimodal bike use study and created our first named and marked bike route. Formalized the garage sale program, initiating standard signage and controls. Created with staff the Neighbors Mediation Program, thus curtailing police involvement in neighbors' disputes. Worked with staff to create and promote Bike Niles Festival. Brought back aggressive animal control to the neighborhoods, thereby hoping to curtail the presence of skunks in our neighborhood. Initiated the creation of the SCRAM program, which is Senior Crime Reduction Awareness Measures, thus helping the most vulnerable among us to avoid becoming a crime statistic. We put forth new street signage reflecting a new and upscale village branding. Initiating the street calming program to eliminate dangerous vehicular speeders through residential neighborhoods. Was stimulus to the creation of the Heroes Teen Volunteer Program, connecting needy seniors with concerned youth in our community. Promoted and participated in the creation and the functioning of Niles Arts and Culture Council. Began the Helping Hands program with Cook County and federal government support, which brought together various social welfare agencies to a resource fair for improving quality of life. Most recently, the fair became part of the village-wide block party. Regarding better governance, I sought to depoliticize the Niles Ethics Board by creating the Niles Independent Inspector General, who was in fact devoid of influence from the mayor or members of the Board of Trustees. We established the e-ethics training wherein all employees must once yearly participate in ethics training accompanied by a test to show proficiency. We created with staff performance management program that ensures through metrics efficiencies of the labor force. Began the document destruction program, which initiates the elimination of unneeded documents, thus freeing up space or the new need for additional storage. Created the standing committees with trustee chairpersons, thereby giving trustees responsibilities heretofore unheard of. Fostered paperless agendas for our board meetings. Gave support to progressive, across the board, digital modernization throughout all departments. It is truly amazing how much each department has furthered their digital profile. Reduction of the vehicle fleet of the village. Reinvigorated the Family Services Department, adding programs, outreach, and accountability through the Social Welfare Audit Program. Increased grant applications and awards across most all departments. I with IT added a legal notice of user compliance to all computer login screens. Next, infrastructure, building, and grounds. We remodeled the council chambers and replaced a long defective and badly engineered HVAC system. We renovated Fire Station 3 at a cost subsidized through grants money. We renovated the second floor of the Village Hall, providing for better utilization of space, a video production center, an additional conference room, a new emergency operations center, and the renovation of a decrepit employee dining and meeting space. We reduced electric costs by 25% and gas costs by 10%. Contracted and built out a new water system, thereby saving the village millions of dollars in water costs from the city of Chicago. I would like to close my address by stating that it was an honor to serve the business community and the residents of Niles. It is my sincerest desire that for those who come after me, that they serve progressively with innovation and creativity. I've always found that even when I was the least creative, that there was always some governmental agency to show me the light. In effect, imitation is the highest form of flattery. And so it goes, that those who guide Niles into the future must use every tool at their disposal to ensure the highest and best quality of life. Thank you.
Niles, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. We hope you did too, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good night.